Today we are going to discuss regarding the water quality parameters. Absolutely pure water is never found in nature and contains number of impurities in varying amounts. The rainwater, which is originally pure, also absorbs various gases, dust, other impurities while falling. This water when moves on ground further carries salt, organic and inorganic impurities. So, this water before supplying to public should be treated and purified for the safety of public health, economy and protection of various industrial processes. It is essential for waterwork engineer to thoroughly check, analyze and do the treatment of raw water obtained the sources before the distribution. The water supplied to the public should be strictly according to the standards laid down from time to time. Characteristics of water. For the purpose of classification, the impurities present in water may be divided into following three categories. Physical categories. The following are the physical characteristics: turbidity, color and temperature, taste and odor. Turbidity. Turbidity is caused due to presence of suspended and colloidal matter in the water. The character and amount of turbidity depends upon the type of soil over which the water has moved. Groundwaters are less turbid than the surface water. Turbidity is a measure of resistance of water to the passage of light through it. Turbidity is expressed as NTU, nephelometric turbidity units, or ppm, parts per milligram, or milligrams per liter, mg per liter. Turbidity is measured by turbidity rod or tape, Jackson's turbidimeter, Bailey's turbidimeter. The sample to be tested is poured into test tube and placed in the meter, and the units of turbidity is read directly on the scale by a needle or by digital display. Drinking water should not have turbidity more than 10 NTU. This test is useful in determining the detention time in settling for raw water and to dosage of coagulants required to remove turbidity. Color in Color and temperature. Color in water usually due to organic matter in colloidal condition, but sometimes it is also due to mineral and dissolved organic impurities. The color produced by 1 million of platinum in a liter of waters has been fixed as the unit of color. The permissible color for domestic water is 20 ppm on platinum cobalt scale. The color in water is not harmful but objectionable. The temperature of water is measured by means of ordinary thermometers. The temperature of surface water is generally at atmospheric temperature, while that of groundwater may be more or less than atmospheric temperature. The most desirable temperature for public supply between 4.4 degrees Celsius to 10 degrees Celsius. The temperature above 35 degrees Celsius are unfit for public supply because it is not palatable. Taste and odor. Taste and odor in the water may be due to presence of dead or live microorganisms, dissolved gases such as hydrogen sulfide, methane, carbon dioxide or oxygen combined with organic matter, mineral substances such as sodium chloride, iron compounds and carbonates, and the sulfates of other substances. The taste of these are done by sense of smell and taste because they are present in such small proportions that it is difficult to detect them by chemical analysis. The water having bad smell and odor is objectionable and should not be supplied to the public. The intensities of the odors are measured in terms of threshold number. This number is numerically equal to amount of sample of water in cc required to be added to the liter of fresh odorless water. Chemical characteristics. In the chemical analysis of water, these tests are done that will reveal the sanitary quality of water. Chemical tests involve determination of total solids, pH value, hardness of water, chloride content, etc. Remember, when we are reading regarding all these characteristics or various parameters, we'll have to keep watch on the latest amendments in the IS code. So the books which are giving the information regarding all these characteristics may not be correlated with the latest amendments in the IS code. So whenever we are collecting the information regarding the various characteristics, we'll have to see the latest IS code and we'll have to refer the latest values or latest standards which are given by the Bureau of Indian Standards. Total solids and suspended solids. Total solids include the solids in suspension, colloidal and dissolved form. The quantity of suspended solids is determined by filtering the sample of water through a fine filter, drying and weighing. The quantity of dissolved and colloidal solids is determined by evaporating the filtered water obtained from the suspended solid test and weighing the residue. The total solids in the water sample can be directly determined by evaporating the filtered water obtained from the suspended solid test and weighing the residue. The total solids in the water sample can be directly determined by evaporating the water and weighing the residue of the total solids is fused in a muffle furnace and organic solids will decompose where only inorganic solids will remain. By weighing we can determine inorganic solids and deducting it from the total solids we can calculate organic solids. IS 10500 2012 okay, gives the acceptable limit of total solids as a 500 mg per liter and permissible limit is 2000 mg per liter. pH value of water. Generally when you are writing the pH, this H is written as a superscript here as pH. Okay, pH value denotes the concentration of hydrogen ion in the water and it is measure of acidity of alkalinity or acidity of a substance. So you can observe in this pH scale which is ranging between 0 to 14. The pH value which is having water pH having value 7 is called as neutral water, and the water which is having the values less than 7 it is a acidic, and that of the values more than 7 ranging between the 7 to 14 it is a alkaline water. Depending upon the nature of dissolved salts and minerals, the pH value ranges from 0 to 14. For pure water, pH value is 7 and 0 to 7 is acidic, 7 to 14 is alkaline range. For the public water supply, pH value may be 6.5 to 8.5. The lower the value may cause tuberculation and corrosion, and whereas high value may produce incrustation, sediment deposits and other bad effects. pH value of water is generally determined by pH papers, and by using pH meter, pH can read directly on the scale by digital display using pH meter. Hardness of water. It is a property of water which prevents the lathering of the soap. Hardness is of two types. Temporary hardness. It is caused due to the presence of carbonates and sulfates of calcium and magnesium, it is removed by boiling only. Permanent hardness. It is caused due to presence of chlorides and nitrates of calcium and magnesium. It is removed by zeolite method. Hardness is usually expressed in gram per liter or ppm calcium carbonate in water. Hardness of water is determined by EDTA method. For potable water, hardness ranges from 5 to 8 degrees. IS 10500 2012 gives the total hardness as a calcium carbonate in mg per liter as a acceptable limit 200 and permissible limit 600. Chloride content. The natural waters near the mines and sea dissolve sodium chloride, and also presence of chlorides may be due to mixing of saline water and sewage in the water. Excess of chlorides is dangerous and unfit for use. The chlorides can be reduced by diluting the water. IS 10500 2012 gives the chloride content as Cl mg per liter as a 250 as acceptable limit and 1000 as a permissible limit. Nitrogen content. The presence of nitrogen in the water indicates the presence of organic matters in the water. The nitrogen may be present in the water may be one or more of following forms: nitrates, nitrites, free ammonia, albuminide nitrogen. Excess presence of nitrogen will cause methemoglobinemia disease to the children. Metals and other chemical substances. Water contains various minerals and metal substances such as iron, manganese, copper, lead, barium, cadmium, selenium, fluoride, arsenic, etc. The concentration of iron and manganese should not allow more than 0.3 ppm. The excess will cause discoloration of clothes during washing and incrustation in water, means due to deposition of ferric hydroxide and manganese oxide. Lead and barium are very toxic. Low ppm of these are allowed. Arsenic, selenium are poisonous and may cause totally. Therefore, they may be removed totally. Human beings are affected by presence of high quality of copper in the water. Fewer cavities in the teeth will be formed due to excessive presence of fluoride in the water than 1 ppm. Laxative effect is caused in the human body due to excessive presence of sulfate in the water. Dissolved gases. Oxygen and carbon dioxide are the gases mostly found in the natural water. The surface water contains large amount of dissolved oxygen because they absorb it from the atmosphere. Algae and other tiny plant life of water also give oxygen to the water. The presence of oxygen in the water is in the dissolved form keep it fresh and sparkling, but more quantity of oxygen causes corrosion to the pipes material. Water absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. If water comes across calcium and magnesium salts, carbon dioxide reacts with the salts and converts them into bicarbonates, causes hardness in the water. The presence of carbon dioxide is easily determined by adding lime solution to the water gives milky white color. Biochemical oxygen demand. It is abbreviated as a BOD. Similarly, one more term is associated with this as a chemical oxygen demand as a COD. If the water is contaminated with the sewage, the demand of oxygen by organic matter in sewage is known as biochemical oxygen demand. The aerobic oxygen continues till the oxygen present in the sewage. As the oxygen exhausts, the anaerobic action begins, due to which foul smell starts coming. Therefore, indirectly, the decomposable matters required oxygen, which is used by organisms. The aerobic decomposition of organic matters is done in two stages. The carbonaceous matters are first oxidized, and oxidation of nitrogenous matters takes place in the latter stage. Bacterial and microscopical characteristics. The examination of water for the presence of bacteria is important for the water supply engineer from viewpoint of public health. The bacteria may be harmless to the mankind or harmful to the mankind. The former category is known as non-pathogenic bacteria and the latter is category is known as pathogenic bacteria. Many of the bacteria found in the water are derived from air, soil and vegetation. Some of these are able to multiply and continue their existence while remaining die out due to course of time. The selective medium that promote the growth of particular bacteria and inhibit the growth of other organism is used in the lab to detect the presence of required bacteria, usually coliform bacteria. The bacteriological analysis uh, the following tests are done. Plate count test. In this method, the total number of bacteria present in milligram of water is found. 1 ml of sample is diluted into 99 ml sterilized water and 1 ml of diluted water is mixed with 10 ml of agar gelatin. The mixture is then kept in the incubator for 37 degrees centigrade at 24 hours or 20 degrees Celsius for 48 hours. After the sample will be taken out from the incubator and colonies of bacteria are counted by means of microscope. MPN test or most probable number, the detection of bacteria by mixing different dilution of sample of water with fructose broth and keeping in the incubator at 37 degrees Celsius for 48 hours. The presence of acid or carbon dioxide gases in the test tube will indicate the presence of B. coli or E. coli. After this, the standard statistical tables McAdis are referred and most probable number mpm of B. coli per 100 ml of water is determined. Now these are the various values given by the IS 500. So you can refer, it is supplied to you. So you can refer all these values and it is mentioned that it should not be E. coli or that should not or total coliform bacteria should not be detectable in the any 100 ml sample. Waterborne diseases. World Health Organization has observed that 80% of communicable diseases that are transmitted through water, diseases like cholera, gastroenteritis, typhoid, amoeba, diarrhea, polio, hepatitis or jaundice, leptospirosis, Dractonetiasis are caused by bacteria. Excess of fluoride present in the water above 1.5 mg per liter causes diseases like dental fluorosis, scalar fluorosis. This permanent irreversible disease that weakens the bone structure, the patient becomes immobile or bedridden. Excess of nitrates in the water causes methanoglobulin or blue baby symptoms in the infants. It affects the hemoglobin in the blood and reduces the capacity to transport the oxygen to the cells. Nitrates in the water are caused by industrial effluents, agriculture runoff, toxic ions or chromium, lead, arsenic and pesticides in the water cause diseases affecting the kidney, liver and high blood pressure, paralysis, cancers, etc. These toxic substances are due to industrial effluents reaching the surface and groundwater sources. Now these are the various IS standards. Please refer the IS standards for the these organoleptical and physical parameters. This we have already discussed. Similarly, also you are requested to go through all the substances undesirable in the excessive amounts. So these are the permissible acceptable limits are given. Also permissible limits are mentioned. So you are supposed to know all these limits. Similarly, you can see the parameters considered toxic substances such as cadmium, cyanide, lead, mercury. Okay, these are the acceptable limits are given and permissible limits are given. Similarly, for the pesticide residues limits and test methods. Then, as we have already discussed regarding the bacteriological quality of drinking water. Similarly, the WHO standards are also given, which similar to the BIS, Bureau of Indian Standard. So also you are supposed to know the various standards which are associated with the World Health Organization. So what is the importance of all water quality parameters in the water treatment? Water available in the various sources contains various types of impurities and cannot be directly used by the public for various purposes before removing the impurities. For potability, water should be free from unpleasant taste, odors and must have sparkling appearance. The water must be free from disease-spreading germs. The amount and type of processes will depend on the quality of raw water and standards of quality of raw water and standards of required for the after the treatment. The surface sources generally contain large amount of impurities, therefore they require sedimentation, filtration and chlorination as treatment. If the water contains algae and other microorganisms, the pre-chlorination has to be done. Taste and odors, dissolved gases like CO2, H2S are removed by aeration. During the flood season, the turbidity of surface water may be high and flocculation may become necessary to remove the turbidity. Groundwater, which are usually clear, may require only disinfection and chemical treatment for removal of pathogens, iron removal, softening, etc. Sometimes the groundwater contains dissolved gases like hydrogen sulfide, H2S, carbon dioxide, CO2, which gives a bad odor and requires removal by aeration. So the further treatments also decide upon the what type of quality we are water we are receiving from the source, and that we are going to coming in the future in the lectures. Thank you very much for joining today's session.